Ah, the amusement park, the perfect escape from life's cares. Amusement parks all over the country subscribe to a common mission: to bring fun into the lives of their guests. They accomplish this through their rides, attractions, and live shows. And an unwritten rule in the amusement park world is that a major new attraction be added to the park every couple of years. In many cases, this major new attraction is the king of the amusement park, the roller coaster. Well, thanks to this trend, you're about to experience the newest, latest crop of the most awesome, bone-jarring coasters ever built, plus some of America's all-time favorites. Buckle your seatbelt and get ready for a ride on some of America's most terrorizing scream machines. At Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio, we'll be taking a ride on the newest of this great park's 12 roller coasters, Mantis. In a lovely wooded family playground in Ellisburg, Pennsylvania, we find one of America's favorite woodies, Phoenix. At Paramount's King's Dominion near Richmond, Virginia, we find two more of America's greatest roller coasters, Outer Limits Flight of Fear, and a coaster that's been making riders scream for more than a decade, Grizzly. Also in Virginia, at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, a coaster that's just as scary as its namesake, the Loch Ness Monster. At Holiday World, Santa Claus, Indiana, we'll take a ride on one of the most exciting new woodies, the Raven. Valley Fair in Shakopee, Minnesota, unveiled this new coaster in May of 1996. Brace yourself for a ride on a hyper coaster, Wild Thing. At Great Escape in Lake George, New York, it's the Comet, and it's one of the great wooden coaster rides. The Atlantic Ocean and the boardwalk provide the setting for our next two coasters, the Great Nor'easter and the Great White, at Maury's Piers, Wildwood, New Jersey. Worlds of Fun, Kansas City, Missouri, is the home of this coaster, a longtime favorite, Timberwolf. In the lush surroundings of Florida's beautiful Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay, their newest addition to the park lies in wait. Get ready for an exciting trip on MONTU. At one of America's oldest and most beautiful traditional amusement parks, Kennywood, near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, we'll ride one of North America's original roller coasters, built in 1921 and still going strong, Jackrabbit. And from the traditional to the outrageous, our final roller coaster, found at the very top of the Stratosphere Tower in Las Vegas, the very appropriately named High Roller. Cedar Point is beautifully situated on the shores of Lake Erie. It's one of America's favorite getaways. It's been a summer playground for over 100 years. Cedar Point's long history began back in the 1880s when people came by boat to the island resort. Originally, it was a campground. The addition of bathhouses, a pavilion, musical attractions, and food and drink made it an ever-increasingly popular destination. The construction of a causeway in 1957 connecting the island to Sandusky's mainland made Cedar Point even more accessible. Cedar Point's first roller coaster was built in 1902. Since then, many more roller coasters and rides and attractions of all descriptions have been added to the park. Cedar Point is known as the roller coaster capital of the world. They have more roller coasters than any other amusement park in the world. A total of 12, with the addition in the spring of 1996 of this one, Mantis. This awesome steel looping stand-up coaster is another creation of Swiss coaster designers Bolliger and Mabillard. Riding a coaster standing up is definitely a different experience from the sit-down type.
We loved it!
This is a ride that's well worth waiting for. This is also one of the current crop of coasters that strikes genuine fear into the hearts of its brave riders. Mantis travels the 3,900 feet of track in 2 minutes 40 seconds, taking you through a 119-foot vertical loop, a 103-foot diving loop, and a 360-degree bank turn, all standing up. Take a cue from the Mantis and start praying.
I love it. I think it's great.
It pulled my band out. It was great. You know, it was the bomb. I like it. I'm going to get on it again.
There are only a handful of parks like this one anymore. This is Knoebels Amusement Resort, one of the few remaining family-owned, free-admission, traditional, unthemed amusement parks. Dubbed Pennsylvania's hometown park, Knoebels has that homespun, backwoods, laid-back quality about it. And yet, this is the home of one of America's fiercest roller coasters, the Phoenix.
This property has belonged to the Knoebel family since the 1840s. We have the deeds for this property dating back to the time signed by John Penn, which was William Penn's son.
Two streams converge here on the property, Musker's Run and Roaring Creek. And there's a swimming hole there with a covered bridge over it that people could jump off of. And that really is kind of the precursor of the park. People would come out here traveling from Shamokin or Mount Carmel, which were booming mine towns at that time, coal mining. There were groups called tally-hos who would come out by horse and buggy, so a day-long trip at that point. Come out here, picnic, and swim in the swimming hole.
My grandfather would care for the horses, and then he started putting some picnic tables and benches, and then he built a spring dam in the creek out of logs.
We have the Grand Carousel, which is the heart and soul of Knoebels. Carousel Museum was a long-time dream here. and it's dedicated to the art of the carousel. You know, there aren't that many hand-carved antique carousels left. We have two, but there just aren't that many remaining. Our centerpiece in terms of thrills and excitement is the Phoenix.
This is one coaster that's on every coaster fan's list of favorites. Let's go for a ride. The Phoenix is actually the rebuilt rocket of Playland Park, San Antonio, Texas. Built originally in 1947, she was rebuilt at Knoebels in 1985 and renamed. Her design gives her a ride that coaster enthusiasts rave about. Here we go. Paramount's King's Dominion in Doswell, Virginia, just north of Richmond, is one of 5 seasonal theme parks operated by Paramount Communications, the entertainment giant. Being a major motion picture and television company, characters from Paramount's TV shows and movies are in evidence all over the park, and some of the park's rides are themed after Paramount films, like the Tom Cruise movie, Days of Thunder. Among the many live shows, Paramount on Ice is a favorite attraction. Paramount's King's Dominion has 7 roller coasters, including Shockwave, an exciting stand-up coaster, Anaconda, a one-of-a-kind looping steel coaster that takes its riders through an underwater tunnel, and our 2 featured coasters, Grizzly, a ferocious woody that roars through the backwoods of Old Virginia, and Outer Limits Flight of Fear.
Imagine a roller coaster that shoots you like a rocket in a black hole, going 55 miles an hour in 4 seconds. And then you're twisted and you're turned in a maze of track in complete darkness. Believe me, I've experienced it. It is the ultimate thrill ride.
This view of the interior of Outer Limits Flight of Fear is the only look you'll ever get of this highly themed ride with the lights on. It has to be experienced in total darkness in order for the riders to be immersed in the sights and sounds of an invasion of alien forces. Using a revolutionary electromagnetic launch system, riders are catapulted to a speed of 53 miles per hour in 4 seconds flat. Get ready to blast off. One of the landmarks of Paramount's King's Dominion and one of America's great woodies is Grizzly. This figure-8 coaster was designed after Cincinnati's Coney Island Wildcat. It races through the forest, giving riders unexpected thrills, since the dense trees make it difficult to see what lies around the next curve. This magnificent park, designed to complement its lush surroundings of rivers and forests, is Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, Virginia. In this European-themed park, you can visit 9 authentically detailed 17th century European hamlets without ever leaving America's shores. You can enjoy Oktoberfest any month of the year. Experience the romance of an Italian opera. Sample delicious French pastries at a sidewalk cafe. And of course, you can visit the Clydesdales, the world-famous Anheuser-Busch horses. Nestled among all this classical beauty, you'll also find some high-tech thrills, like our featured coaster, the Loch Ness Monster. Nessie rises 130 feet above the lake below and drops to within 5 feet of the water on one of her dives. She's built of 300 tons of steel and can reach speeds in excess of 60 miles per hour. Get a firm grip around Nessie's neck and hang on for dear life. This park's name and address speaks volumes about the fun that attracts its many visitors. Holiday World, located at 1 Holiday Square, Santa Claus, Indiana, where everything has a Christmas theme.
I am Santa Claus. May I present you with my business card? What does it say? Santa Claus, Holiday World, Santa Claus, Indiana. These people are good enough to ask me to come down here from the North Pole and spend the summer with them. They named this town Santa Claus. So when they ask me to come, that's an honor for me. I'm going to come down and spend the summer.
Holiday World recently celebrated its 50th anniversary. They opened their doors in 1946 as Santa Claus Land.
One of the people that was really involved in Santa Claus Land from the very beginning was my very own father. So it was my husband's father and my father who are really responsible for everything here.
We became involved in Santa Claus during the year of 1939 when my father came up here, and he felt that the children who were coming here, because of some of the publicity they were receiving, that it needed to have something here that children wouldn't go away disappointed.
One time we were in a convenience store and a little boy ran in and Dad had a beard and in the twinkly eyes, and the little boy said, "Mommy, there's Santa without his Christmas clothes."
As Santa Claus Land grew, they added sections themed for Halloween and the 4th of July. It was at this point in the park's history that the name was changed to Holiday World.
Well, we plan to continue to grow and develop Holiday World. I mean, what we're developing now is a great place to bring a family. We're really a very family-oriented park, and we're trying to create a very safe, clean, friendly atmosphere for families with children of all ages. And we want to continue to grow and develop. We want to continue to improve on our Splash and Safari Water Park.
And to celebrate Holiday World's 50th anniversary in 1995, the Raven was introduced.
You know, we feel like it's got all the elements that really make for a great ride. It's got plenty of height. It's got great speed. It's got a tunnel. It goes out and makes a turn out over Lake Rudolph, and then dives back down into the woods for a strong finish. We feel like the Raven kind of proves that bigger is not necessarily better, and you can build a great ride without having to be the tallest or the fastest. One of the neat things about the Raven is there's also a very large drop right in the middle of the ride, which is kind of unusual, and that's a 61-foot drop. Top speed is near 60 miles an hour, and it feels a whole lot faster than that going through those woods.
What's it like riding that sleigh on Christmas Eve? Come ride the Raven. It's as near to riding the sleigh as you'll get without coming aboard.
very scary.
Oh my God, I thought I was gonna cry.
She peed her pants. Real cool, baby.
This is Moscow, Russia, where roller coasters began in the 19th century as ice slides. Young Muscovites still enjoy the ice slides, a favorite winter sport. And Russians still enjoy their roller coasters. The Russians may have invented the roller coaster concept, but they'll be the first to admit their coasters are no match for America's greatest. Like this one, for instance. Wild Thing. This is one of a handful of coasters being referred to as hyper coasters. Opened in 1996 at Valley Fair, Shakopee, Minnesota, Wild Thing has a 200-foot first hill, track that stretches out over 1 mile, and a top speed of 74 miles per hour. Valley Fair is the Upper Midwest's largest family amusement park, with over 75 exhilarating rides, shows, and attractions, plus Whitewater Country Water Park, and just opened in the spring of 1996, Wild Thing. This coaster is one of the longest and wildest rides in the world. Valley Fair wanted to reinforce their image as one of the major players in the theme park entertainment industry. With Wild Thing, I think they've done it. And, oh yes, if you'd care to kiss each other goodbye, now's a good time to do it. This is Great Escape and Splashwater Kingdom in Lake George, New York, the largest theme park in New York State. And this is the Comet, originally built as the Cyclone in 1927 at Crystal Beach on the shores of Lake Erie, Ontario, Canada. Great Escape began its long history in 1954 as Storytown, USA, and its theme was Mother Goose nursery rhymes.
We advertise 2 parks for the price of 1 because we have an amusement park and we have a water park. And first thrill ride I put in was the Steamin' Demon, and we put in the Raging River, and we've got the Condor that's out in front that takes people up 95 feet in the air, and then we put in the water park. Knowing my desire to get things that are famous and are known, I didn't go to bid on the Comet except for one thing, for its name, its reputation, because it's the only roller coaster in the world that's been erected in 2 countries. That's quite a reputation.
It took several years and 49 tractor-trailer loads of dismantled roller coaster, but the Comet was eventually rebuilt at its new home in the Adirondacks. Once called the Queen of the Lake, the Comet now reigns as King of the Hills. With new Douglas fir track and new trains manufactured by Philadelphia Toboggan Company, this old Woody is still a great ride. The Comet gives its riders a great thrill, but it gave our camera a real beating.
First drop on the Comet is one of the best first drops in existence today.
Thousands of enthusiasts have waited 5 years for this ride to come back, and it's a legend, and the legend has returned.
It was great. It was awesome.
Back in 1968, Will and Bill Morey Sr. saw this slide offered for sale next to a shopping center mall in Florida. They thought it would look good in Wildwood, New Jersey. They purchased a small pier in Wildwood to put it on, and the park grew from there. Because space is at a premium, Morey's Piers has packed 2 and even 3 layers of rides within their gates. They now have 3 roller coasters. The first was the Sea Serpent. In 1995, when they added the Great Nor'easter, they had to use a shoehorn to make it fit. Being designed to weave through 5 other amusement rides, including a loop over the Raging Waters waterslide, the Great Nor'easter's ride is extra exciting. This coaster is one of only 4 such 2-across suspended looping coasters in the world. The others are in the Netherlands, Japan, and Kentucky. Batten down the hatches. Get ready to ride the storm.
That's a ball. I was really scared. This was absolutely fabulous. Awesome.
This is the Great White, opened at Morey's Piers, spring of 1996. With the space problem facing Morey's Piers, you have to wonder where they found room for this monster. Well, one way they did it was to actually extend the track 350 feet beyond the pier toward the ocean. The Great White's configuration is unique. The first dive out of the elevated station takes the riders under the boardwalk and go-kart track. It tunnels across the pier to its first hill and into a 100-foot climb. Just when you thought it was safe to go near an amusement park again,
ride was awesome.
How many times have I rode it? About 50, 60 times.
I love it.
This is Kansas City, Missouri, a town that knows how to have a good time. In keeping with that reputation, Kansas City's #1 tourist attractions, Worlds of Fun and Oceans of Fun, truly show their visitors a good time. The park opened in 1973. It's themed after Jules Verne's adventurous tale, Around the World in 80 Days.
Mr. Lamar Hunt started Worlds of Fun, and construction, I think, began in 1970 or 71. I was here during construction of this particular ride. It sets on the same basis that the old Scream Roller, or EXT, used to set on. The wheels on the coaster itself are all steel. There's a road wheel, a guide wheel, and an upstop wheel to make sure that the coaster stays on the track at all times.
Oceans of Fun opened in 1982. It's now the Midwest's largest tropically themed water park.
In 1996, Worlds of Fun added a great new ride called the Detonator, which takes passengers 4.5 Gs straight up about 170 feet in 3 seconds and then drops them at 1 negative G, which is faster than a free fall.
Worlds of Fun constantly strives to improve. In 1996, they added the Ripcord, a ride that combines the thrills of skydiving, hang gliding, and bungee jumping.
There is an extra charge on this one, but anyone who's flown the Ripcord says it's well worth it. We have 4 roller coasters here at Worlds of Fun. The Wacky Worm, which is the kiddie coaster, the Zambezi Zinger, the Orient Express, and our most popular roller coaster, the Timberwolf.
When Timberwolf was built in 1989, it immediately took its place on the list of America's favorite roller coasters.
It's about 8 stories high. It's 5,480 feet long. It gets a speed, I'd say, probably around 55, 56 miles an hour on a good hot day. The warmer it is, the faster it runs.
Love the I like the drops. It's so cool.
Incredible.
The Woody's good. Good Woody.
One of America's foremost zoos is also one of America's finest theme parks, Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay, Florida. It's one of only 4 zoos in the nation with more than 2,800 animals, and they're widely recognized for their successful breeding and conservation efforts. Various species of African animals roam in herds on more than 60 acres of land. Claw Island is the home of a family of white and yellow Bengal tigers. The Myombe Reserve is the great ape domain of Busch Gardens. Visitors can take a self-guided tour through shrouds of mist and observe western lowland gorillas and chimpanzees in the lush, heavily landscaped habitat. Sick or injured animals are cared for in the Nairobi Field Station Animal Nursery that provides the best veterinary care. This may be serious business, but Busch Gardens Tampa Bay isn't all serious business. This is a theme park that offers its visitors huge doses of fun. And the rush is on to take a ride on the park's newest and baddest coaster. The outrageous MONTU, a Bolliger and Mabillard design, opened to the public in the new Egypt section of the park, May of 1996. As of its completion, it is the world's tallest and longest inverted steel roller coaster, and it has a whole host of first-of-a-kind elements. The largest vertical loop at 104 feet, a 60-foot vertical loop half buried in a trench, and the Immelmann, an inverse diving loop named after a German stunt pilot. Enjoy the ride.
Here we go. You ready?
Oh, yes, here we go.
Kennywood in West Mifflin, Pennsylvania, a suburb of Pittsburgh, is another of America's finest and oldest traditional family amusement parks. As a matter of fact, Kennywood is an official National Historic Landmark.
Kennywood was established in 1898. It had been owned by Anthony Kenny. He allowed people to come here and picnic on his groves and in his woods by the lagoon here. And And then the streetcar company decided to build a park at the end, ask them if they could lease the property, and they did that.
And it went from Kenny's Grove to Kenny's Woods to Kennywood, and it was just leased space from this farmer where the trolley came out and turned around and went back in towards town.
One of the things that's really special about Kennywood is that we have a great combination of both old and new rides. We go back to the 20s with the auto ride, the only one left of its kind in the country. We have the old mill that was originally built in 1901 and rebuilt again in the 20s. And then, of course, we have this grand carousel that has beautifully hand-carved horses from Denzel. Kennywood opened in 1995. It's designed after the old Luna parks that were around at the turn of the century. They were built basically to show off the electric light bulb. Lost Kennywood is wonderful during the day, but it is magical at night. When all the lights come on and it's glittery and it's another world.
Kennywood's fortunate enough to have 4 roller coasters.
But the one thing that we have that not many parks are able to say that they have are 3 classic coasters, all of which were built by very famous coaster builders in the 1920s.
We have 3 of them, right? I go on every one of them every day. The Jackrabbit. It's the best coaster ride in the park. Then comes a Thunderbolt.
Coaster enthusiasts love the Jackrabbit for several reasons. One, of course, it was built in the 20s by John Miller. 2, the double dip is amazing. You get tremendous airtime when you're coming down that second dip. And the fact that it's built in the natural ravine.
Have you rode it yet? Ride and see what I'm talking about. You'll like it.
Okay, Jack, we will.
Hundreds of coasters were built in the 1920s, all very special. Many of them had a camelback or double dip. But by the end of World War II, most of those coasters were gone, torn down for economic reasons. And today, the only remaining camelback is the Jackrabbit.
it was great.
Did I like the ride? I almost lost it. You almost lost me on that ride.
Oh, it was great.
Very good.
Awesome.
What was your favorite part?
The double dip.
The double dip.
Double dip, double dip.
Double dip, definitely.
We've saved the most exotic for last. Our final coaster has the distinction of being the world's highest roller coaster, the aptly named High Roller. It's not the tallest or the highest drop, mind you, but since it's situated nearly 1,000 feet above the ground, atop America's tallest freestanding observation tower, and the tallest building west of the Mississippi, this has to be one of the scariest coasters in the world, with one of the best views of one of America's most exciting cities. The Stratosphere Tower, completed in early 1996, is a $500 million complex that has changed the face of Las Vegas. Its 1,500-room hotel, 97,000-square-foot casino, top-flight entertainers, world-class chefs, and spectacular rides make Stratosphere Tower a top-priority destination on the Las Vegas Strip. If you really want to feel what it's like to be on top of the world, check out the Big Shot at the very top of the tower. It shoots you at 45 miles per hour straight up, then drops you back to the launching pad. From 4 Gs on the way up to less than 0 Gs on the way down.
It was great. It was the greatest ride I've ever been on.
What's going up?
Going up. Woo. When you come back down, the force is so significant your butt leaves the seat.
Awesome. I mean, it was the best.
And now, if you're not afraid of heights, let's take that ride on the High Roller. This is one ride that guarantees to get the adrenaline pumping. It takes a considerable amount of courage just to climb aboard this coaster, let alone ride it.
I'm scared.
The High Roller gives you 3 trips around the tower's pod, back to the station, and then 3 more rotations.
It was a wild ride. It was fun. It's your way up there, and you go twice. And you go twice.
Had a great time. Cool ride.
Now we're going to San Quentin for the gas chamber next.
Well, that's our show. America's greatest roller coaster thrills in 3D, Volume 2. We hope you enjoyed the ride. Watch for new titles on the horizon as we stay on the lookout for the world's most exciting thrill rides. Resort.